welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, for another round of the Stock Car Championship Series here live from Pocono. Originally supposed to be brought to you from Kansas, however, get into that in a moment. Right here we got first in a warm-up, coming up on just about 9 minutes left in this warm-up session. Dale Earnhardt Sr., quickest overall, 53.674 by 2 thousandths over Kyle Busch, so very close at the top. Long front stretch here at Long Pond. Beautiful day, looks like we'll have great weather for the race. We were supposed to be from Kansas though, like I mentioned, but upon doing one of our practice races, we found after 2 practice races, issues with the AI not pitting when they needed to and actually running out of gas or using the apron and just lots of issues. So, resulted here to Pocono, which we did not have on the schedule originally. Should be fun. Not like Indianapolis, I imagine. We'll get a lot of spread out racing, but should see some good racing as well. Now, more times coming in. You see Dale Sr. was quickest. Does not go quicker there. Bobby Allison now fastest on the timesheets. Coming down pit lane. There's Jimmie Johnson. He's going to be 3rd overall. Let's see if he goes any faster. Halfway through practice, 53.79 for 7-time champ. Currently running 2nd in points, only 4 back of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch currently 5th in practice. Tony Stewart 2nd overall, about a full 10th off of Bobby Allison, so Bobby put in a pretty good lap though. See if we can find Tony Stewart. He's down the back stretch currently. Going down into turn 3. 2 back stretches here at Pocono. This will be the short shoot. Stewart crossing the line. Let's check the fall off, 53.8. So not a ton of fall off yet on lap 6. Great shot here coming up a turn 1. Dale Earnhardt Sr., last week's winner, doing pretty well here in opening practice. We'll have 5 more minutes of this warm-up session and then go right into qualifying, be 4 laps. Following that, be 100 laps here at Pocono. 250 miles. See if Earnhardt can back up his performance not only last week, but as well as at Indianapolis, where he actually got a top 3. And even almost won that race. Even Richard Petty passed late in the going by Kyle Larson. But, you know, Earnhardt's going to be strong here today. 7th in practice, but right now following with Bobby Allison, who's quickest overall. So he can go quicker in these last 5 minutes. No other cars around to really affect his run right now. Maybe just a bit in front. He may even get a bit of a draft from Bill Elliott. Let alone the car is going 3 wide into turn 1 just ahead. It's right along with Bobby Allison. A lap here before we get into qualifying coming up in just a moment. So the track really starting to wear in and lap time slowing down even on fresh tires like Bobby Allison has here. Most everybody has a lap on the board. A couple cars though still looking to get through not only the installation lap but the actual full practice speed laps. Lap and speed. Bobby Allison looking really good here. Getting a little dirty here. Allows him to go slower. It's definitely about half a second off pace from his fastest lap. That was only about less than 10 minutes ago. Time 53.9. As practice warms up, I will be one moment and grab a drink of water and be right back. Enjoy the last minute and a half here of our warm-up session. And the last 30 seconds of our warm-up session. Practice about to expire, and still quick as Bobby Allison. Looking very strong here. Go ahead and advance the session so we don't have to wait the full lap here. We'll stay with Bobby Allison as he is quickest. And should anybody go quicker in qualifying, we'll then jump to their lap and follow along with the fastest through the session. 4 laps here in qualifying, a bit of cloud cover. Didn't have much of that in warm-up, so 76 degrees, track temp 84. Bit of a breeze, 5 miles an hour, not bad. Bobby Allison hits 2, turn 1. Trying to keep the good on these tires, but also get them up to temperature. A long pond straight. Tunnel turn and down into the short chute here. Turn 3 can be very important here for the first lap. We've seen cars go fast on their third lap, but I really think the second will be the quickest. Getting this launch off of 3 is going to be everything. Get a good safe lap in here first too. So Bobby Allison on his first time lap. Now into turn 1. Arcing corner there, little late apex. Does it get all the way to the yellow line? Saving a bit for lap 2 perhaps, so it's a good run down the straight. Bit twitchy through 3. We'll see how he comes in. Now he hits to the start-finish line. Second lap now underway. Where does Bobby Allison filter in right now? At least 6th. Cale Larson's going to be quickest overall. Follow with him again. Winner at Indianapolis. We knew this could be the case. .963. Second place, Cale Yarborough at a 54.009. Not too far off. Richard Petty only 1,000th back of Cale Yarborough. So that's your top 3 here as Cale Yarborough or Kyle Larson comes off of turn 3 to the line. What does he have? He goes quicker, 3.816, but Jeff Gordon to the top at a 53.740. Followed by quickest in practice, none other than Bobby Allison. Cale Yarborough stays up towards the top, and Dale Sr., last week's winner, there in 4th. Gordon looking fast. He's up by 200ths on Bobby Allison. Lap 3, will we see anybody go quicker? 3 and 4. It's very hit or miss for a lot of these guys. I think the tires might be worn out and Gordon might get away with pole position. Oh, they'd go quicker again. Gordon goes faster, but not fast enough. And it's shaking up every time across the line. This time it's Kyle Busch to the front. Your current points leader. He's followed by a Joey Logano, 400ths back. Dale Sr. and Cale Yarborough, they've been a constant here in the top 5 through each of the first 3 laps. I don't know if the 4th lap will be quicker, but I said that about the 3rd, and everybody went faster. A lot of action here in qualifying. Be interesting to see how it translates to the race as Kyle Busch off of 3 across the line. Anybody go faster this time? No, Kyle Busch will be on pole here at Pocono. What a run. Joey Logano alongside on the front row. You got Earnhardt Sr. and Cale Yarborough, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Allison, Kyle Larson and Richard Petty, and then Jimmie Johnson and Mark Martin rounding out the top 10. Tony Stewart back in 12th. Not a good start for him. Everything else pretty standard here. But great job by Kyle Busch to get the pole here at Pocono. And the cars take to the grid. Check in one more time with the weather. 77 degrees now, 91 degree track temperature. We're starting right at noon, local time. Now we'll go ahead and go through the field, see where your favorite driver is starting. Again, we got Kyle Busch on pole with Joey Logano alongside on the front row. Last week's winner, Earnhardt Sr., starting third. A lot of cars here in the top 5 in points, starting right towards the front. These cars should stay towards the front for the majority of the race. Won't be much lap traffic to speak of, as we have long green flag runs. A long grid here as cars stacked one by one rather than 2 by 2 we see at most tracks. Personally, one of my least favorite ways to get these cars gridded, especially when you're on track racing. It's very hard to know when to go and then get lined up in time for the green flag. A couple guys here towards the back. Martin Truex. Dale Jarrett's having a great season. Doesn't want to be back here too long, though. Probably about 30th, it looks like his starting spot. And rounding out the last few rows here, the usual suspects towards the back, seeing if they can improve on their season. Few drivers able to take a lot of advantage of last week. Like Ricky Rudd came with a fantastic finish. So did Neil Bonnet. Or actually, Neil Bonnet had a good run going and then is on probation. So starting on the last row, Neil Bonnet and Harry Gant. Again, Neil Bonnet on 3-race probation. Basically, what that means is he has any sort of incidents, not purposely caused, but recklessly, perhaps, then he will be responsible, potentially facing point deduction. So getting underway. Cars will head off on pit lane behind the pace car. Get lined up as they hit the bankings in turn 1. Sounded crazy. They get lined up a lot quicker than it takes in official races or league races, that's for sure. Ready to go here. Pace car lights are out, so only get the 1 lap before we go green. Joey Logano, no DNFs on the season, knock on wood. Starting here on the outside of the first row, 1 win on the year. Potentially looking for his second great starting position. Kyle Busch also with 1 win, leading the points. Put together a string of 4 just incredible races. At Indianapolis wasn't that bad, Then just in the top 20. Let's see what he can do here at Pocono. Logano gonna try to jump the start, maybe hold the outside line off of 1. Or anticipate the start. You can't jump the start, but here we go. Pace car is off. And green flags in the air. Kyle Busch gets away cleanly. Nice job. Let's head down this main stretch into turn 1. To the front like we kind of thought. That could be something to keep an eye on all day if we have any other restarts. Pocono now staying to the outside as Cale Yarborough works to the inside through the tunnel turn. Kyle Busch continues to fall back now outside the top 5. Bobby Allison running 3rd now. Cale Yarborough is going to look to the outside. Now to the inside. Cars 3 wide all the way in the back. Three groups forming here early on. Dale Jarrett not waiting long. He's getting through the field pretty quick. Oh, excuse me. Cale Yarborough now taking the lead through turn 2. Nicely done. Bobby Allison looks like he's following for 2nd now. Pocono dropping a little bit here at the beginning. Good shot of the top 5 now making their way down the back straightaway. Pocono not losing touch here with Cale just yet. They will maintain pace here early on. It's on lap 3 of 100. About 200, exactly 250 miles, I'm sorry, here at Pocono. Top 5 pulling away a bit. Cale Yarborough, Joey Logano, Bobby Allison, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Richard Petty. You go about 5 car lengths back and you get the Hendrick teammates of Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Now we got the top 5 mixing it up through turn 1. Bobby Allison's going to get to the outs. Oh, we got a crash. Oh, big crash back here. Keselowski around, had Truex. So we can go back and see what happened. Oh, so big. That blew the engine. So Ken's the guy in the back of Rusty Wallace. It's like clipped. Truex. A whole bunch of cars with some damage here. Big pile up there. I don't think Dale Jarrett was able to get going, so he is potentially going to lose a lap. Now behind the pace car on lap 5. When do you start thinking about fuel? Does anybody try to pit this early? believe we should be able to go about 22 to 24 laps. And look here. Everybody going except the best enemy's teammates. Oh my. These guys' teammates here, Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison. Everybody else on pit lane. See how this plays out. Go to our drone cam and catch the front of the field as they hit their boxes. See if anybody gets held up. Gordon gets a little blocked. Kyle Busch. Larson, he's back here, yeah. Gonna be about midfield because of that. We're gone away. Petty's gonna come out. See. Bad stop here for Larson. He's well back in the field now. Ooh boy, Larson's in trouble. Stops killed him. So back to the front. We'll have teammates on the front row when we get started again. Imagine we'll get the one to go, but we'll have to be sure when we come back around. Logano, Richard Petty, first and second off of pit lane. Then you got Earnhardt, Jimmie Johnson, David Pearson, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon. Oh, and Alan Kowicki. That is your top 10. Got a few cars still on pit lane getting work done. Let's see how many were involved here. Got Harry Gant, Ernie Irvin, there's Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte, Truex, Greg Biffle, Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth. Very costly incident for a lot of drivers and a lot of teams as well. See if we get the one to go. Indeed we do. Now, can Cale Yarborough make the inside work? We saw on the start of the race. Did not work for Kyle Busch. He finds himself now back in about 10th or 12th. At 12th. And where's Kyle Larson? Yeah, my goodness. Back in nearly 30th. 23rd. Oh, brutal. Be someone to watch though from the 14th row, or the 12th row. May not be the only caution here tonight though. A lot of cars pit, so we got a little bit of different strategy at the front. Let's see how it works out for these two guys. There weren't many laps on the tires yet, so if there's ever a time to experiment, I think now is the time. And in fact, we got a bit of a mix of strategy. It'll be a good gauge for everyone else going forward the rest of this race. After we got a few laps in, our quickest lap was actually put in by Richard Petty, 53.5. So nice job there by the King. He's in 4th. Let's see how he does on this restart. Teammates get away pretty good. Cale Yarborough gonna gap Bobby Allison into turn 1. He's gonna get the position, so they're a little different than what happened with Kyle Busch. Oh, we got contact again. We're all over the place. Still on the wall. Sorry for the camera work there. I was trying to keep up with the incident there with Denny Hamlin. Chaos back here. Lots of damage to the front end. I think Gordon could be in a bit of trouble. Heck of a restart though, and now back to the front. Cale Yarborough gets the first lap. I think we've got a few cars to pit lane. Indeed we do. We've got Ernie Irvin and maybe Dale Jarrett actually. Cars were not ready to be back on track. I don't know. But Richard Petty's going to get to the outside now here. Bobby Allison going in the tunnel turn. The preferred line with these Cup cars. It'll just keep that momentum rolling. Jimmie Johnson's there too. But Petty to P2. Jimmie Johnson looking for third. So this is also a matter of fresh tires, don't forget. Cale Yarborough on a bit older tires, as is Bobby Allison. So this was only a matter of time, and just getting steamrolled down the front straightaway with the draft. Bobby Allison's going to lose about 6-7 spots. Busch. Oh! Kevin Harvick into the fence. Cars stacked up again. Contact. Turn 1 turning out to be a very dangerous spot on the track. Back to the front again. Cale Yarborough now closing up on a lap car. That's Ernie Irvin, who's in 36th. Up ahead on it coming out of the pits. A lot of lap traffic much earlier, I think, than any of the leaders ever anticipated. I don't know if they even thought they'd see any lap traffic. Making its presence felt here on lap 11. The 25th mile of the race that we have quite a bit going on. Jimmie Johnson's going to go to second now as he gets around Petty from the high side. Probably be able to get around Ernie Irvin here on the low side in turn 1. Cale Yarborough works Matt Kenseth. Meanwhile, the rest of the top 5, I think top 7 now stuck behind Richard Petty, who's stuck behind Ernie Irvin. Guys are going to lose their patience here. Oh, Busch almost ran over the back of Bobby Allison. Now looks like Petty's going to go to the high side. Kenseth, though, he's up there and off pace to where Ernie Irvin even gets a run. There you go. Petty should be clear now, going down at the front stretch into turn 1. Tony Stewart trying to follow on the outside of Irvin. Field really starting to get spread out. Let's check with Kyle Larson. Where's Larson at? 16. Oh, we got Pearson up in the fence. Hard hit for Pearson. Big time damage here. Oh, we're going to have a crash. Oh, almost. Cars stacked up. Pearson in a lot of trouble. He's trying to make it to pit lane. what a start to this race. This is the trouble spot. Let's see if we go back again now to Cale Larson. Just want to go aboard. Take a look at how things are going here. He's getting through the field, stay on for about a lap or so. Running 15th here. You see Jeff Gordon up about 2 cars ahead, running side by side with Denny Hamlin and Bill Elliott right there as well. Bill Elliott looking for some good ride. He just hasn't really had it this season. See that for his son Chase as well. He has not been able to put together the finishes that they're known for. Just like that, Larson moving to 14. He is not done yet. 13. Just making it look easy at this point. Davey Allison up ahead, having a great run in 11th. Love to see that. Back to the front. I think we might have pass for the lead. So side by side. Oh, even the top 3 here as we come off of turn 1. Bobby Labonte up ahead by about 2 seconds. Evan's going to go for a second. And Jimmie Johnson had to make way and get some momentum on turn 1. On lap 16 already. Very hectic start to this race, but very entertaining as well. Feel really starting to get strung out, especially when they're on the stretch. You can see gaps that are forming. But not much of a gap up front. Again, the top 3 now separated only by a matter of 2/10. Then you go about a second back to Tony Stewart. You see hounded by Joe Logano in the tunnel turn. Pass forward, 4th. Can he get it done? Cale Yarborough, again, did not take tires on that last round of stops. Neither did Bobby Allison. They're holding on to 1st and 6th, respectively. So incredible job of that pit call. And the ability of the drivers to stay out front as well. Cale Yarborough having the fresh air on his nose definitely helping out that situation. As he's coming up though on the 118 of Bobby Labonte. Getting good draft now down the straightaway. Quite the battle going on back here. Guys really racing hard for 14th on. I don't know if there was an incident or... Looks like Davey Allison might be in a bit of trouble. Got some damage actually. And Kyle Larson moves the spots quickly. the window. Larson to the inside of Davey Allison is definitely off pace. Just can't quite complete it with the momentum that Allison's able to get down the front straightaway, and also got a bit of the draft going on here. No contact with Larson and Waltrip. They both are trying to fight around Davey Allison, almost taking each other out. Back up here into this group in the meantime. Trying to get by Denny Hamlin, who also has damage. Oh, Keselowski gets loose. Contact sends Hamlin out to the gray. It's going to lose a lot of speed down this long straightaway, but it is on the high side, so it could be worse, but it's doing just fine, all things considered. Might be able to get a good run here off of turn one. This is a lap car to his inside. Oh, Davey Allison again out wide. Sends him for a ride. Able to save it though. Back again to the front. Cale Yarborough out front by half a second over both Jimmie Johnson and Richard Petty. Only 2/10 over Jimmie Johnson, but half a second over the top three. We hit lap 22 here at Pocono. Going by pretty quick. Only 22 minutes into the race. One caution so far on the day. Pretty big wreck. Really damaged a lot of good cars, but seen a lot of close calls since then as well. Top three very consistent and very much running the same lap times. No one's really trying to make a pass here. Now they say that Richard Petty going to the inside, trying to make it a little difficult for Jimmie, who will get the run off of one. See if we can go find Larson one more time. Cale still brewing back here. Hamlin definitely having problems. Ooh, you see that switch? This car is really out of shape right now. Let's see if Ricky goes on the inside in turn 3. Trying to make that pass. Can't quite get there though. So, Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison should be on pit lane any lap now. With the caution, they may be able to extend it by one lap or two, so I don't imagine a lot. Let's see what it equates to. Jimmie Johnson, though, at the same time, going for the lead. Tires maybe getting to see that age that Cale just can't keep up with it anymore. And oh, Jimmie and Cale even hit doors there in 3. Oh, we got a caution. Oh, it's Harry Gant here in turn 1. Perfect timing if you're Cale Yarborough. Oh, he got air. contact, and clips the safety barrier, spins like a top, comes back down, does not drive away. Clipped an edge in the wall, it seemed, though. So right at the 1/4 point of the race, it's lap 25 of 100. Get the caution here. Hard hit for Harry Gant. Might be the end of his day. I imagine we will see everybody to pit lane. Staying out would be just drastically terrible of an idea. But this is the iRacing AI, and anything can happen. Oh, yeah, we had a split field. Sorry. A lot of differing strategies. Alright, let's see how it works. Larson trying to get some spots back by not pitting. Could be a good move for his race. Same with Jeff Gordon. Just figured you'd lose more spots by pitting and having to be checked up the whole way down. Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough, though, both deciding to pit. They needed to, probably pretty close on fuel. Now, this is a big difference in the life of those tires compared to earlier in the race. I think we will see the likes of Jimmie Johnson, Tony Stewart, all these guys at the front. The top 10 right now are probably going to get ambushed. I think cautions are very likely. See Carl Edwards getting a lap back here. That'll put him back onto the lead lap. So good for Carl Edwards. Larson, and then behind him is Cale Yarborough. So let's see, we got the top 11 stayed out and 12th on back. It's just going to be madness, I think. We're going back to green flag this next time by. I'd be a little nervous being the top 10, especially knowing you probably got to pit in about 5 laps. But it's a pretty good gamble at the same time. We'll see how it pays off. We've seen a lot of contact on these restarts so far. Next race, by the way, will be at Bristol. That'll be next Wednesday. Be sure to tune in for that. I mentioned the IndyCar Legend Racing Series is still ongoing. On to Race 3 next week as well, as they will be at Road Atlanta. Currently being led in that season by Alex Palou. 2 races in the book, so very beginning of the year, but Race 3 we may start to see where the contenders are and who's emerging from the rest of the pack early on. Here in this season, Kyle Busch is your points leader. Jimmie Johnson second in points, currently running on point. Tony Stewart, he's 7th in the series standings, and Joey Logano running 6th. These guys, a lot at stake in the top 4. Then you got Mark Martin and Dale Sr. just trying to get back into the conversation. Pace cars off. What will Jimmie do? Get the jump? Good launch. Should be able to clear Stewart into turn 1. Kyle Busch on the initial start, the only car unable to make that work. There we go. A lot of 3 wide action with the fresh tires. Might have got a car in the wall. What a shot there. Field just flying out of turn 3. Fresh tires not making as much advancement yet as I maybe expected. Jimmie Johnson still leading and pulling away a bit. Kyle Busch having trouble off of 1. You see Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison back running side by side behind Denny Hamlin. Hamlin does have damage. Oh, Mark Martin got real out of shape there. Here's Kyle Larson now trying to crack the top 10 into turn 3. Side by side with Bill Elliott. And now the tires look like they're starting to matter. Saw them all stacked up there behind the slower cars through turn 3, just really all about pushing them. They're quicker, they just have nowhere to go. And contact between teammates off of turn 1. That's what's holding them up as well. Denny Hamlin does have fresh tires. This has a bit of a damaged race car. Contact there. You see Larson really getting into the back of Denny Hamlin. That's going to allow Bobby Allison to get to the outside on the front straightaway. You see your top 3, Jimmie Johnson, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart. All these guys, though, have to pit in the top 10. When will they make the move? Because they are about 25. Oh, here they come. Right on cue. Kyle Larson's following. That's 4 cars that round. Joe Logano, Jeff Gordon now leading the field. Kurt Busch and Dale Sr. right behind and battling for 3rd. And Wallace, Mark Martin, Bill Elliott. They go a little bit ways back now to 8th. And we find Denny Hamlin, the first car on the fresh tires. Not making any headway. Bobby Allison on the inside had to check up for the cars hitting pit lane. And now the cars that have pit take over the race. Kevin Harvick is your leader into turn 1, getting by Denny Hamlin. Cale Yarborough right on the rear bumper now in third, looking for second. Looks like Kowicki having problems off of turn 1. Pretty hard hit with the wall. Yeah. Just nowhere to go. Rough break there. Now here's Jimmie Johnson. Gordon and Logano on the outlap. Stewart's trying already up to speed. Jimmie Johnson's pulling away a bit. First of these cars that has stopped. One-third of the way now through this race. Get back to the front. Cale Yarborough working the inside here now on Kevin Harvick. Harvick's got a good run though off of 3. Bobby Allison in tow. They got the draft, and that will probably move Cale back to 3rd. Richard Petty sitting in 4th. Believe it or not, Neil Bonnet running 5th. Unbelievable. Earnhardt Jr. up his 6th. His pit strategies could really shake things up here. Bobby Allison now leads his teammate Cale Yarborough, and then Richard Petty gap by 3/10, and Kevin Harvick not far behind. They're all separated by less than a second. Apologize for the connection issue there, but back online it appears, and up ahead is Harry Gant, who had a pretty severe wreck early on, spinning around on the side of his car. He's right ahead of the leaders. 4 cars, Bobby Allison, Kevin Harvick, and Cale Yarborough continuing to swap positions up front. Ways to 5th, and it's Neil Bonnet trying to hold off about 10 other cars for this 5th top 5. Oh, Dale Jr. can't quite get by Pearson. So probably another 10 to 15 laps for these leaders until they have to stop. Side by side up front. Ooh, Richard Petty gets cut off there. Bit close for comfort. Probably going to lose a position to Cale down into the tunnel turn. Strong. Oh, hard contact that time. From Harvick's here, that's got to be pretty significant. Sideways there. Almost using 8 wheels. 8 wheels better than 4. Especially tires. So here's Denny Hamlin. Looks like he probably had repairs. He's down 4 laps now. You got Neil Bonnet still holding on to 5th over Chase Elliott, Terry Labonte, Earnhardt Jr., Davey Allison. Meanwhile, Bobby Allison leads the field, pulling away as we're coming up on the halfway point of this race. Take a look at his car on this long straightaway. So there's the first group. Now let's wait a minute. We're gonna get some more cars, but see them making their way into turn 1 now. There's Darrell Waltrip on his own in 33rd. Here come the other leaders. This is Jimmie Johnson. Jeff Kyle Busch and Logano. Allison and the other lead group as that. Bobby Allison was quickest in practice. We knew he'd be faster today, but he's putting together a hell of a race. Now leading his teammate Cale Yarborough, who had a movie for a good chunk of the, say, first quarter of it. Now into the tunnel turn, lap 42. It's getting closer. I'd say they could make it probably to lap 50. Harvick now losing touch with this lead pack at about 1.5 seconds. But still a large lead over then Neil Bonnet. So a big fight there for 5th. Just nobody can get by, it seems, back there with the air. You have to be to the highest side to make a move. Neil Bonnet's really guarding that high line. See Cale Yarborough, he gets to the high line on Richard Petty. So he knows it can be done. Let's go check in, actually. There is Neil Bonnet holding off a charge of 7-8 other cars. Stay to that high line. These guys are all, for the most part, typically back markers, except for Chase Elliott and Davey Allison. They're midfield running. Dale Jr. also typically midfield, so that's why he's also able to hold this. Is these guys aren't that fast. They're not like the leaders. Now 6.9 seconds back of the lead. I think, yeah, we got a caution. It's 10th place. Who is it? Terry Labonte got in it. Able to get his car back around. He's ready to win this battle, too. Just didn't quite see him. He's been off camera. Hard enough hit. Bounces him back. And, ooh, Kenseth gets him pretty good. That's going to bring out the caution for sure. Now Cale Yarborough is going to pick up the pace car. Inherited the lead while we were watching with Neil Bonnet. Now, what do you do? A lot of these guys last pit on 26, then 33. There's a lot of options available. We saw the new tires didn't make a huge difference. Not until you get more than halfway through a run. So I'm sure crew chiefs are taking that into account. We're just about at the halfway point of this race. Coming up on 50 minutes, so pretty nice time race. And now, who decides to go this time? Oh, the teammates splitting the strategy. A lot of cars coming to pit lane. Hendrick staying out. Wow. Very interesting choices, I'd say, throughout the field. Not many stayed out. There's Bobby Allison to his box. Looks like Bobby O'Bon, or no, Kyle Busch and Mark Martin getting into. I don't know if Kyle Busch got to his box. I don't think he did. So he did have the first box, so that's what was going on. But this must have been frustrating. Losing a ton of spots now. We'll have fresh tires, but be towards the back of that pack that took said tires. And car is getting lined back up. We got the one to go from the pace car. Lights are out. Just about halfway. A lot of different strategies at play now. And again, it's about the top 10 that stayed out. Actually, exactly the top 10. Bobby Allison, 11th. And everyone on back did pit with him. Cale Yarborough, one win on the season. Came at Indianapolis, so similar track, however, not the oval. It came at the road course, so not similar really at all. But a winner at Indianapolis road course, looking to get an oval win under his belt. He's led quite a few laps on the season. 138 on the ovals to be exact. About to get back to green flag racing though. Can he keep the lead and hold off Richard Petty? Who's having a great race here, by the way. Clint Boyer in third. Unbelievable. Ricky Rudd again, another great run in sixth. Hopefully they can keep it together. We'll get the green flag and back underway. Cale Yarborough accelerates down the front straightaway. Richard Petty, good jump. I don't know if Cale's going to be able to pull up in front. Barely into turn one. Oh my. Petty's going to look low. Sending Cale higher than he wanted to go. He's up in the gray. There are cars up here. Lots of scrambling towards the back. Cale's got the lead off of two. Oh, they're really piling up here. Neil Bonnet's involved. See Chase Elliott, a few others. Bubba Wallace, Kowicki, Pearson, Biffle, Dale Jarrett, I think Keselowski. They're going to be able to get back. Oh, more collision. That might be terminal for the 23. And go back and take a look at what happened here. Started right there. Clip Neal. See if we can go up to the board here. Kyle Petty gets into the back of Junior, which then sends him up into Chase Elliott. Collisions ensue, and they just keep piling in. So back to the front of the field, there's Cale Yarborough. What does this do in regards to his pit strategy now? I think you gotta pit. And this is somewhat of a blessing in disguise. Not going to get opportunities like this too often to get these tires on. We'll be right at the halfway point this time by, but not coming in, staying out. Ricky Rudd does pit. I think that's a good call. Starting to see a bit of attrition now in this race, which we're halfway through. I think we've got damage on at least half the field. Let's see. Where does it start? Mark Martin, maybe? Yeah, Carl Edwards is a lap down in 23rd. So we have 22 cars is it on the lead lap. Get the one to go next time by. Boyer didn't get the best restart there. You see he was in third. It dropped back to about 7th now. Cars with a lot of trouble. I think we can go through here. Denny Hamlin, Keselowski, Kenseth, Harry Gant, Truex, Kowicki, Neil Bonnet, Bubba Wallace. Quite a few pretty big incidents today. And Carl Edwards getting back on the lead lap again. lot of cars on pit lane at the moment, getting repairs done. Let's take a look here. Harry Gant. There's Jeff Burton pulling away. Dale Jarrett. It's got quite a bit of repair work. Brad Keselowski, saw him run into that pack of cars. Chase Elliott here. Kowicki had a rough day. He's been in the wall twice. Oh, David Pearson, that car is mangled. Too bad for Mark Martin. He had a good one going, but Jeff Burton, at least he's getting back out on track right ahead of the leaders. He's still a lap down, but at least saving going 2 laps down. Cars lining up for the restart. Get 1 to go. 50 to go in the race. Field really starting to thin out a bit. You can tell there. What will the rest of this race hold? Hoping, you know, a lot of green flag. Now that we have less cars on track. It seems it doesn't take much to have these incidents. Kyle Petty still up here in the top 10 despite being involved in that incident, really kind of kicking it off with Dale Jr. also still up there. Only ones not up there were the ones that were caught up in it. And Davey Allison there, 3rd. Lots of damage to his hood. See if they'll get that repaired when he makes his stop. Probably in the next 2 laps. The top 3, they desperately need to stop. Clint Boyer and Dale Jr. also in the same boat. So we have probably a handful of cars still on this long strategy. Gonna get the restart here with 49 laps to go. Just under 100 miles remain. Or under 125 miles remain. A green flag in the air. Then a restart with Cale Yarborough and Richard Petty alongside. Cale's gonna be able to clear much easier than the previous restart, which was actually pretty close. It's a bit sideways. Someone's right rear is a little nervous there, but Richard Petty now to the front and gonna get the lead on Cale Yarborough into turn 3. What a move. Power move here on the restart. Can he hold it though? I don't think so. Off of 3, he's gonna lose the spot back into turn 1 as Cale's just gonna have all the momentum. Field down into 1 again. Richard Petty has the line. He was able to stay side by side. Should be able to clear now off of 1. Got a few cars in the wall. Let's see the body. Martin. Gonna keep going green. Top 5 now. Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt, and Kevin Harvick. Stewart going for 2nd. As Cale drove up the track on those older tires. Petty now hits pit lane. Cale's able to pull away as Tony Stewart had to check up. He's got a half second now down the front stretch. Cars behind him are 3 wide. Thinking this is exactly what I need. Huge gap now, separating himself, and he'll probably hit pit lane this time by. May not be worse for wear here. Early still, just past halfway, and with this strategy, he might be able to make it on one more stop. Logano's coming in. Davey Allison, Clint Boyer. Back to the front. There's Tony Stewart. He's got Harvick and Gordon right in his rear tire tracks. He accelerates off of one. Down the back straightaway. Top 5. Got Dale Jr. and Kurt Busch battling for 4th. Harvick now looking for 2nd. This battle for getting into the top 5. Oh, Dale Jr., what happened? I think he's out of gas. Might have sputtered off of 2. Yeah, he's out of gas and trying to get down and can't. Caution's out. Not sure if we had an incident, but they're going to bring it out for Dale Jr. just out of gas. Such a dangerous situation there for the rest of the field. Just couldn't get to pit lane. Too many cars to his inside, and Dale Jr.'s good race now down the drain. Tony Stewart leads the field, really coming into the home stretch of this race. Not quite crunch time, but we're getting there. And look at this now. Most everyone down pit lane. Terry Labonte staying out. It's like Ricky Rudd, Kyle Larson, Bobby Allison. Maybe about, okay, quite a few now, because a few cars did just pit. But of those that didn't just pit, I'd say about 10 cars stayed out. Let's go to our pit lane camera. Here we are with the leaders on pit lane. Some cars even still making it in their box. Tony Stewart now hoping to be the first off. There's Kevin Harvick leaving. Greg Biffle with a great pit stop. And I don't know if I'm saying this right, but is Alan Kulwicki still on the lead lap? Okay. He was pitting with the leaders, and I was... If he's still able to race on the lead lap with the incidents he's had, I'm going to be shocked. Terry Labonte actually just trying to get a lap back, it seems. So, he'll get the wave around. Kyle Larson up to 2nd with everything he's gone through today. Bobby Allison again was quickest in practice. Shown his speed all day, along with his teammate Cale Yarborough, who's a little bit further back. Look who's really surprising everyone, though, I think, is Michael Waltrip. Waltrip has not had a good season at all. He's 37th in points out of 40 cars, running on 3 DNFs. Best finish of the season came last week. Actually tied it. So really just, and that was let's see, where did he finish? Outside the top 20. We could look further into that, but Right now running fourth, and his best finish is outside the top 20. I think he'll take this. Staying on the lead lap could get him even a better finish. No announcer's curse here, though. It's some good vibes. The 15, hopefully we can get it together. The 10, I mean, just really been having an incredible last couple races. Another car very far down the points. Rudd is 32nd in points. Good to see a few of these guys up towards the front where they typically aren't running. But a lot of different strategies currently going on. Rudd actually has 5 lap fresher tires than anyone in the top 5. So, huge advantage off the bat. Cars coming around turn 2. Again, pace car lights are out. Just over 40 laps to go. We'll get the green flag with 42 to go. Been very eventful so far, but a lot left to be decided, including at least one more pit stop. Pace car pulls off. Ricky Rudd will have control of the field. Can he out-accelerate Larson into one? Here we go. Good jump by Larson. He's going to be alongside into one. Rudd may not be able to hold on to the lead for long. Oh, contact. Make it off the corner somehow. Excuse me. Oh boy. 3 and 4 wide. They somehow make it. Michael Waltrip's up to second, getting around Rudd and Bobby Allison. Here we are, 41 to go. You told me Michael Waltrip was in second with 40 laps to go. I think you're crazy. Oh, Terry Labonte looks like he's got a bit of trouble. Oh, caution is out. Big incident up at the front. Oh, so contact Petty goes up and hard hits there. Earnhardt then goes back in front of the field. Oh, collects Bill Elliott. Elliott gets in here. Does Jeff Gordon get back going? Okay, that was a close call. Now a lot of cars with damage. Oh my. Everyone's still just trying to catch up to the tail end of the field. "40 laps to go," and just as I said, a lot left to be told. That couldn't have been any truer. Let's go back here to our blimp cam. Contact at the front. Oh, hard hits. Then even Bill Elliott had his own. They're almost two separate incidents. The damage that Cale Yarborough's got has got to be pretty significant. Still on pit lane. There's Harvick and Keselowski coming down now. Looks like we got Larson, Bobby Allison. A few other cars towards the back here. Darrell Waltrip pitting. Let's see Dale Jr., but I believe he is now laps down. Inheriting the lead is Michael Waltrip for DEI. Ahead of Ricky Rudd. Twilight Zone here at Pocono. This is our 5th caution of the day. In a busy middle portion of the race. Currently seeing 77 degrees, track temp 101, about 10 degrees from the start. Still about 8 mile an hour wind now I see there. So it's gone up a bit. Still got 20 cars on the lead lap. Richard Petty and Tony Stewart, fresher tires than the first two. Be interesting to see how they do on the restart, especially Tony Stewart being on the outside and even fresher tires than Petty. Boyer and Logano, both on the same strategy. So the only car really the odd man out right now is going to be Michael Waltrip. Let's see what he can do. Rudd is a little less an advantage, but still 4 more laps. 10 lap difference is huge. Find our points leader real quick. Kyle Busch, he's running in 8th. All things considered, a pretty good run. You see Jimmie Johnson 2nd in points. Came into this race 4 points back. He's currently, looks like he's running about 12th. So 8th and 12th for 1st and 2nd in the standings. Larson still on the lead lap with fresh tires. Cale Yarborough just involved in that most recent incident. So that's going to send him back through the point standings. And Jeff Gordon, he's right behind his teammate in 14th. Get back to the front of the field for the restart. Get Michael Waltrip on the point. Leading laps here in the Stock Car Championship Series. Okay, round 14 of 36 here. Could we see another first-time winner? We've had quite a few on the season. Pace cars off. Good start for Waltrip. He looks like he may be able to clear by turn 1. Can't typically do that unless you got a slower car next to you like Waltrip had here, so fortunate luck for him. Let's see what happens now as we get down into Petty's on the inside already. Those fresher tires and just faster car in general. It's apparent. Oh wow, cars up ahead and Oh, cars wrecking down the backstretch. Another crash here on a restart. Gets into Pearson. You see contact up there. Oh. Started up here. Michael Waltrip being gifted here some free laps to the lead on the front of the field under caution. Gets to decide now what he wants to do with his strategy. We got 35 laps to go. Cars can make it about 22 to 24, but with all the caution laps, say it adds another lap or two at least to each green flag run. And with all the cautions we've had, it's really becoming challenging to know what strategy exactly everybody is on and how much fuel do they actually have. Everybody's staying on track. I think anybody that got the tires last time that needed it, they did, and the extra fuel won't make any difference at this point. I'll get one to go next time by. See Cale Yarborough now heading up the back of the pack. So he's currently being scored 30th, 4 laps down. A rough way to end this day. Car definitely capable of winning. See where Michael Waltrip started today, 37th, and right behind him was 38th Ricky Rudd. These guys started on the 19th row. Currently first and second in this race. Kyle Petty also started 34th. He's up to 7th. Boyer started 35th, up to 9th. Even Kenny Schrader up 20 spots, 32nd to 12th. You see Cale Yarborough, the big hit of the day, 4th to 30th. .34 at the line, will be going green with 33 to go. Hopefully get some green flag laps going now that more cars will be similar on their tires. I think a lot of these incidents have been created because of cars being on different strategies. Lining up to go back green flag racing. Bill Elliott gets the wave around. Put him back on the lead lap. I believe so. Let's see. Oh, he's actually still a 1 lap down. Two-thirds of the way through this event. And a good one at Pocono, again, replacing Kansas at the last minute. Sorry for the late start here today, but we had to replace Kansas. Doing a practice race this morning just was not working the way we were needing it to. Having issues with cars running out of gas on the very first green flag run, green flag pit stop. So unfortunately, could not run that track and reported it to iRacing. But we'll see if we can get that fixed in the future and make our debut at Kansas Speedway down the line. It's between Pocono, we also had Kentucky and Nashville as tracks to replace. Darlington is an option, but we haven't run there yet. I don't want to have to risk another new track. But Pocono, good fill-in here. It's had a ton of action, more than I anticipated. Thought we were going to see something like Indy, but it's been anything but the race at Indianapolis. About to get that green flag back in the air. Cars shifting down. And away we go. Michael Waltrip, great restart again. I think he'll be clear into one. Can Richard Petty get there like he did on the last one and make the move for first? I don't know. We'll see. There he goes. Petty's there. Long straightaway into the tunnel turn. Locking out 2. Sends Logano for a ride there. I can't believe he saved it. I thought he was going to bounce off the wall in front of the whole field. Waltrip holding on to the lead. He's got Richard Petty now closing in as Petty's trying to get by Ricky Rudd here. Probably be able to complete it in turn 1. One lap clean. Took a while. Let's see if we can get 2. Busch sideways into the back of Ricky Rudd. And now Michael Waltrip in trouble. I don't know if he can hold the low line. Gordon forcing his way through. A lot of elbows out here. But Petty losing positions as he's trying to go for the lead. Stewart now up to 3rd. Fierce battle back here for about 5th. Kyle Petty in the mix. 3 wide. Jimmie Johnson and Joey Logano as they head down into turn 1. Have to figure it out. The rear end of second in points. Looks like Bobby Allison's got a bit more damage to his front end. So does Gordon. You can see it crumpled up there. Pit stops for Michael Waltrip coming up pretty soon as he is now back to 2nd. Tony Stewart able to get around for the lead. And pulling away very quickly. Three wide, Logano gets tapped by Allison. Will send him down the track. Slowing up. Jimmie Johnson in the process and checking up a lot of them. 10 through 15. So Gordon here 9th. Logano trying to move up. Hits the door of Gordon. really battling for 8th there. Rudd, he's back to 6th as the restart. On the inside, he's going to lose the position here to Larson down the front straightaway. Richard Petty able to get clear of Michael Waltrip that last time around. Pretty close to making it the rest of the race. It's right on the borderline now. In regards to fuel, I just think with how many cautions we've had, it's potentially doable. So Waltrip could actually be in a very good position. Jimmie really goes in deep. 2 by 2 at the front here. About 3rd on back. Michael Waltrip getting the run on the high side lap after lap, preventing any of these quicker cars really from getting by. They are quicker. They just can't get by. Oh, hard wreck. That's a big one. Caution is out. Gets into Carl Edwards and just slams into Kurt Busch. Side impacts really difficult. Huge break for Michael Waltrip, really. To be able to get fuel and fresh tires, and I wonder, will the rest of the field come down, being how close it is to making it the rest of the way? Tony Stewart leads Richard Petty. Stewart trying to rebound from a DNF last week, as is Richard Petty. Both cars not finishing. It's important for them to come away with a good result. Stewart's kind of been tumbling down the standings after being in the top 5 much of the beginning of the year. See if anybody decides to pit. I would imagine everybody will. And Tony Stewart is staying out. Oh my, I think so. Him and Mark Martin, the only 2 cars staying out. I see Cale Yarborough, he's many laps down. Wow. I don't agree with this call. Tony Stewart is the only car because Mark Martin was a lap down. Let's give him the free pass. Pit lane potentially for the last time. Petty gets away. Waltrip, he's gonna be off 2nd. Wow. Carl Edwards, what a stop. And here's back up front. Lone Ranger, Tony Stewart. I think he must be anticipating a late caution. So he can make it I would say to lap 85, maybe at most. Just including the caution laps we've had here in this last 30 40 laps. It's just been one after another. But smoke is going to get smoked on this restart. You can put money on that. Richard Petty, the fastest lap of the race, will be starting on the outside of the 20 car with fresh tires by nearly 20 laps. It's the last place he wants to be. Lights are out on the pace car, trying to figure out, I guess, what's going on with Cale Yarborough, and they're getting him situated. So yeah, still 20 cars on the lead lap. We got 2 cars 1 lap down. It's Bill Elliott and Terry Labonte. Going to the green flag, though, this time, about half a lap away. And like I said, I imagine we're going to see Richard Petty just launch on this restart and be, if not past, at least alongside Tony Stewart through turn 1. Bobby Allison probably be very close in pursuit. Fastest in practice. We know that 12 car is quick. 43... I don't think has led any laps yet today, so we don't know what kind of speed he really has, but been out towards the front all day as well. 25 to go, 24 at the line. Off of turn 3, Tony Stewart. Restart is in his hands, so does have that advantage, but tire advantage might be a bit too much to overcome. Gets a good jump. He's going to hold off Richard Petty into turn 1. Nicely done. Got the line he wanted now. How does everyone behave in this corner? So many incidents in the last few laps. Top 3 pulling away. Oh, we got Jeff Burton up in the wall. Almost a crash. Darrell Waltrip able to avoid disaster. Almost ruined his race. Top 3, like I said, pulling away. Stewart, Petty. Oh, they're wrecking. Button here. Oh, Dale Earnhardt's around. See what happened. With his teammate, but also Jimmie Johnson. Oh, he avoids the huge wreck, and then Earnhardt Jr. runs right through him. Earnhardt's both getting into this one. Jimmie Johnson somehow avoided it. Incredible. So Johnson getting back to his position on track. Now, if you're Tony Stewart, I think you have to pit. But you're going to find yourself back at about 20th, so it wasn't even worth it. What was going to be, I think, a pretty quick race here is really dragged out the last 30 minutes. I think we're looking at about an hour, 40-minute total time race. We're at 45. Everything since then has just been one caution after another. I think we're on probably caution 8 here. Stewart hits pit lane all by himself. $20 to go next time by. And we'll get the green probably with 19 laps remaining. An incredible amount of incidents today. We know this track can run green flag. It did for a while there. It even had green flag pit stops. Unfortunately, these cars just late in the day here, not late in the day, but mid-afternoon, having a hard time keeping the tires underneath them and really just using each other up. Now, Richard Petty. Something we haven't really talked about here today is he's had a really tough season, a lot of ups and downs, and didn't really get started the way he was hoping on the season with a DNF. Had a DNF again last week. He's currently 9th in points. He is the now second highest running driver without a win on the season, first being Matt Kenseth. But can Richard Petty put that to bed here today and get that first win in the Stock Car Championship Series? A win here, I mean, definitely would put him up into the top 7 in points. Could be knocking on the top 5. While Bobby Allison, what started out as a really good season, hit a real lull midway through the first quarter here. Trying to rebound, put a few good races together. Another one here today, he can find himself back in the top 10. Now look at that second row. Ricky Rudd, Carl Edwards. We've got Michael Walsh up there in 5th still. He hasn't faded back or anything. Granted, these cautions have really helped out these guys, not having to fight for these positions and potentially coming with a better finish just with each passing caution. Going to get the green flag. We got 2 cars still on pit lane. It's Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton. back into the lower gears here as the pace car is going to pull off a bit of cloud cover for these final 19 laps. Let's see how that plays into things, but Petty gets a good jump. Now he's a car length ahead as he gets to the line, and he'll move up the track here into turn 1. Trying to hold off Bobby Allison into the tunnel turn, but Richard goes way wide, way out of the racing line. I don't think he's going to be able to hold the momentum like he wants to. And Bobby Allison's going to take the lead here into 3. Slamming off each other, and Petty able to take more advantage, I think. Just really use up Bobby Allison on the inside and rain him down. Smart move, and that cost Bobby Allison 2 spots, even 3 if you consider he was going for the lead. Stay green. Pearson just having a nightmare of a day. Now Kyle Larson, we saw this at Indianapolis. Is it playing out again? Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt were leading late in the race, and nobody else but Kyle Larson showed up in the final 10 laps to steal the win. And here he is. Petty's got to be thinking, not again. He's closing fast. A 10th quicker that lap. Contact back here at Keselowski. Everybody makes it off the corner okay. Looks like we're clearing out pit lane as well. David Pearson now actually did his pit box, but Burton and Jr., they're back on track. Coming down the first of the back straightaways. 16 to go at the line for Richard Petty. Gap is 3/10. Gonna be counting every lap for Richard Petty. How many more? How far back is he? Everybody's still clean for 1. Pulling away from Carl Edwards. What a great run for Edwards, by the way. Easily his best of the year. Kyle Busch just can't even do anything with it. Can't get close. I mean, Earnhardt Sr., he was in a wreck not long ago. He's in 5th. I don't know how that's possible. 15 to go. Still 0.3. Both drivers doing 54 zeros that last time by. Only separated by 100th if that. There's Kyle now to the inside of Carl. Kyle will clear Carl into turn 3. Looks like Bobby Allison's going for 5th on Earnhardt Sr. A lot playing out here. But this is the big one. Can Petty hold off the 5 of Kyle Larson? Larson, he's going for his 4th win on the year. If he gets that, he's going to be really tough to beat going forward and really put the rest of the field behind the 8 ball early on. It's the winner at Indianapolis, which was worth double points. And we're coming up on the next of the Twin Checker Challenge worth double points at Le Mans in 2 races. So that's going to be a hell of an event. 4-hour endurance race. Oh, sorry. Actually, it's 4 more races time. Bristol, Charlotte, Roval, and then the Charlotte Oval back to back. Then we head across the pond for Le Mans, only to come back and then do Talladega. So definitely be sure to tune in for those races. Le Mans, the 4-hour endurance race, the second leg of the Twin Checker Challenge, which again, as I mentioned, worth double points. We'll have 4 of those races on the season. Already had 1 at Indianapolis. The third one will take place race 27. And that, oh, we got a caution. But that will be at Daytona Road Course. And that's going to be a 6-hour endurance race. Elliott gets pushed up, comes back down. Clobbered by Bubba Wallace. Oh, what a hit. Slammed it. Bubba, nowhere to go. Boom. What a hit. So we're going to have a 10-lap shootout. Does anybody take tires? I can't imagine you would. There doesn't seem to be much of an advantage. Tony Stewart's only up to 15th. I think he may have started on the tail end of the field, but even still, that is not enough to warrant a tire change, in my opinion. Be 11 to go at the line. You're not going to make up that many spots per lap. Petty and Kyle Larson, first and second. Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Earnhardt Sr., Bobby Allison, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, and Joey Logano is your top 10. Michael Waltrip just outside the top 10 now in 11th. So a great run. He's trying to minimize his losses. Looks like, okay, Matt Kenseth is coming in, but he is off the lead lap. Kevin Harvick, I think those guys are all off the lead lap. Yeah, Neil Bonnet pit. So 1 car from the lead lap on pit lane. We'll get the one to go next time by. Restart with 9 laps to go. Looks like we got a few more clouds showing up here at the end of this race. One more check on the weather before we get back green. Track temps down a little bit. Ambience about the same, and a little more wind, I think, than we had earlier. Greg Biffle getting his lap back. Terry Labonte should be getting the wave around here. For some reason they have not been waving around the car a lap down. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done for Terry before we get back green flag. Again, 10 laps to go. Hopefully we've seen the last of our cautions today. As long as Terry Labonte can get by here quick enough, we should be good and not need to extend the caution. There we go. Now we want to extend one extra lap here. We won't be able to get around in time. 8 to go when we go back green. Kyle Busch, your points leader right there in third. You got Jimmie Johnson. He's still running well in the top 10. Kyle Larson, third in points, looking for a win. Last week's winner, Dale Earnhardt Sr., right there in fifth. Don't count him out. And Bobby Allison, like we mentioned, trying to get his season back on track. We thought Mark Martin was dead in the water at one point in this race, and he's back up in the top 10. Just incredible resilience from these drivers. I don't know if there's anyone who hasn't really had a problem yet today. In the background, we see Terry Labonte there off of turn 3, catching back up with the field. And we'll get back to green flag racing in just a moment. See Bubba hanging off the back of the field there with that nose damage. I'm not sure if he has engine issues and just doesn't want to be a part of the main pack there as we get restarted. Let's try to log in the last remaining laps. Here we go, off of the tunnel turn. We'll get one more corner and back to green flag. Can Richard Petty get back in front again of Kyle Larson before we get to turn 1? That's going to decide, I think, a very key point of this race. Because if you can do that and then stay to the outside, the race is done. But if Richard can clear him and then run his normal line, he should be able to hopefully keep the lead down into 2. Richard looking for his first win. Kyle Larson looking for his 4th. Here we go. Pace car is off. And away we go. Petty gets a good jump. 8 laps remain. Richard Petty will get up the track here into turn 1. There you see the gaps. Oh, Larson gets pushed out wide by Carl Edwards. Edwards got contact. There goes Joey Logano around. Contact here. Logano and Jimmie Johnson involved. Wow. There's Logano. gets into Rusty. Rusty goes up, and you got to put that on Jimmie, I think, starting up the whole thing. So he finds himself a bit back in the field. We're going to get one more restart. I don't know. We get green-white checkered here with the iRacing. We'll just hopefully not have to find out. You don't get the option under race settings. Petty now closing back up on the pace vehicle in turn 3. All cars a lap down, or at least 2 laps down, so we'll get a lucky dog, but nobody will get back on the lead lap. I think, yeah, Rusty Wallace actually on pit lane. Must have damage from that contact. Saw Edwards really move Kyle Larson there in turn 1. Destroyed any attempt that Larson had coming off of turn 1. And gave Kyle Busch second place. 5 to go next time by. And then we'll have 4 to go, more than likely, at the restart. This is definitely the latest we've had a caution so far in the Stock Car Championship Series. And just so much at stake here. You got Richard Petty, again, going for his first win. Kyle Busch looking for another win and continue to increase his points lead. Kyle Larson looking for his 4th win. Edwards doesn't even belong in this conversation. He's outside the top 30 in points. But if he can get a win, the roof will blow off this place. Bobby Allison, Earnhardt, Gordon, Mark Martin, Michael Waltrip's in the top 10. Who's to say the front 2 won't wreck here into turn 1 either? Just been crazy so far. But here we go, lining up. Pace car lights are out. It will be 4 to go at the line. How will this one be decided? Hopefully we can make it the race distance without any more cautions. And no promises, but that last restart was definitely better than the others. Who's going to win? Pocono on the line. These drivers had to change their minds at the last second. Their mindset as they were focused on Kansas, but now here in the last 5 laps at Pocono, putting it together, seeing who can come away with the win. Richard Petty in the driver's seat on the point here as he'll lead the cars to the green flag. Kyle Busch knows he's got to do everything on this restart 100% perfect to keep pace with the king. There we go. Green flag's in the air. It's a good jump. Kyle Busch is on his right rear, but not close enough. I think Richard will be able to move up the track. He does. Here we are into turn one. Bumping off each other, Gordon and Bobby Allison. Up the track goes Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart. Backing up the whole rest of the field. See, they're 3 wide, about 15th on back. I don't think there's any way they make it through here, right? Holy cow. They're still going. I don't know how they did it, but they did. Back at the front. Kyle Busch all over the rear bumper. Looking for the lead. Any way he can get there. Down the front straightaway. It's down to these two. Petty and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch closing in quickly. Look at that. Ton of speed down that front straightaway. Into turn one. Side by side for the win. And they're up in the wall again. No wreck. Keep it clean. Oh my gosh. I can't believe they didn't get that one. Everybody was in the wall. Gap is 0.2. Mark Martin's up to third. What a job he's doing on that restart. Off the final corner, 2 laps to go. Kyle Busch is close, but I don't think he's close enough. Gets down to 0.1 as we hit down the front stretch. He's going to have to get to the outside if he wants to make it work. Tried the inside twice and just not enough momentum. It's all about momentum. Long trip up the track with Ernie Irvin. Hey, keep it going. That's the gap. Here into the tunnel turn, 0.2. Kyle Larson goes up the track. He's going to lose a spot. Petty going to get the white flag here this time by. Can he hold off Kyle Busch? Current points leader. He's going to extend his points lead here today. But Richard Petty looking for his first win. Caution is out. This 4th place. Is that Larson? It is. Here into turn 3, they make contact. We haven't seen the crash here all day. And he goes around right in front of the whole field. They had to throw the caution. Now we find out, do we have green-white checkered? Or is this it? Either way, I think Richard Petty is a deserving winner of this race, and this finishing order is totally fine. Larson's screwing up big time there at the end of this race. Going to find himself back in about 20th now. Let's see what we get. Incredible action regardless. It's the final lap potentially here for Richard Petty, getting his first win. Let's see what flag we get at the line. And you gotta think, now, who's got enough gas to make it to the end if it's not the end? Rudd has to pit. I'm not sure he's gonna lose spots here or not. Looks like we got the checker flag in the air. Indeed we do. And that is your winner. Or... pace lights are out. Yeah, that is the race. Winner here today, Richard Petty. What a job well done. Starting from 8th on the field up to 1st. Was up front really all day. But we're going to hang with this just to be sure we don't have a green-white checker. Look at that, Michael Waltrip, 37th to 6th. What a job well done here for the 43 team. Getting their first win on the season. Again, 9th in points, should move himself up to at least the top 7. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch will extend his points lead over Jimmie Johnson and Kyle Larson. Larson bringing out that last caution. Just got a feel for that. He was looking for 4th late in the race. Thought he had a move and had to make it, but I think he would have been much happier with getting 4th, you know, than making that move going back in time. Anywho, that is today's race here at Pocono. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Now we know going forward we do not have green-white checkered here in the AI world. But huge win for the 43. Let's go ahead and go through today's race and find all of our incidents. There's going to be a lot. That's what we like to do at the end of each race. Just find all the collisions. That one was. Took Truex out. Yeah, that was a lot of contact there. Really got him stacked up there. And Elliott, Pearson, ooh. Yeah, that brought out a caution. Or no, it didn't. Thought it was going to. Lap 11. Oh. Similar to the last caution we had. It's the only other time I've seen it. Cars 3 wide, Hamlin wrecking, they're sliding all over each other there. 3 by 3. But the Napa cars, they're shoving up into the wall. Keep it going. And a lot of contact here. Oh, that was vicious. So many cars going for one spot there. See, when they hit the wall, they just come flying right back down the track. Contact with Pearson. Hit there for Labonte, and that really started the whole chain of events of cautions that we had today. Oh, wow. Really big hits there for Chase. Oof. Gas there. Big moment. Oh, look at that. Big hit. How did that bring out a caution? Ooh. Hard hit there. Look at that. 3x3x3. Took out Cale. There goes Dale. Oof. That was a big one. And Chase just getting rocked. A lot of hits here in the turn 3 wall. So sudden, like Kurt never saw that coming. Ooh, wide in 3. Oh, hard hit for a 31. He had a good run going at that time. Ooh, did get hit by Waltrip. I thought he made it clear. That was a close one. Still made contact. Oh yeah, Earnhardt goes around. Still came back and got a 5th out of this. That's unbelievable. Whew. That could have been worse. Big save there by Labonte and Keselowski. Oh, wow, that was a really sharp hit. Oh, man. There goes Joey. Goes for his ride. Here on 99. The last one. Just enough. Barely enough contact, but it was enough to send Larson going, and that is the end of the race. Again, what a what an exciting race we had here. I think completely different than what we could have anticipated. Hilo's going to be very caution-free, very spread-out race. Anything but that. Maybe the most cautions on the season. Quite a few cars didn't really have the best of luck. You could start here with Bubba Wallace. Cale Yarborough had a few incidents, but kept going. Bubba had pretty terminal damage. Keselowski, Kenseth, Bill Elliott, Kowicki, Davey Allison. These guys just terrible luck today. Especially Chase Elliott. Oof. Alright, well, it was a great race. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be back again next Wednesday again for the race at Bristol. Following that, we will have the following Monday and Friday will be at Charlotte for both the Roval and the Oval. Charlotte week in a week and a half. So be sure to follow, subscribe, share, like the video. Hope to see you next time, and until then, this is Stock Car Championship Series. Hope you all have a great weekend.